Welcome to another edition of the Postgame Wrap. I'm Jared Johnson, and Texas Tech dropped its second straight game, this time 27-14 at BYU. And it was a frustrating game to watch from Texas Tech's perspective. I feel like there were some things you did well. I thought that the defense played well for most of the game, to be honest. They did allow that one drive after Texas Tech got on the board, and that was disappointing. That seems to be a theme where if Tech scores like they did against Kansas State to take a lead in the second half, they allow a touchdown drive. But overall, the defense, they held BYU to 277 total yards. That's pretty good. The one thing the defense didn't do was turn the ball over. On the other hand, Tech's offense and just in general Texas Tech turned it over a lot, 5 times. That's not counting the 2 turnovers on downs. So really like 7 turnovers. But that's 5 turnovers in terms of officially in the stats. That's after 3 in the second half against Kansas State. What is that? 8 turnovers in, 6 quarters, the last 6 quarters? So that's not good. The Red Raiders really needed a win over BYU, and we knew it was going to be a tough environment. Look, BYU's 5-2 overall, and they got back to 500 in the Big 12. They're 2-2 in the Big 12, so that's a good record. But I don't feel like it's a great team. I felt like this was probably, if not your most winnable game, one of your 2 most winnable games left on your schedule, and so it's looking like a frustrating season is going to be even worse than we could have imagined. There were a lot of other things in terms of execution that Texas Tech really struggled with Saturday night. I know the penalties was a big thing. I don't have the exact numbers right now, but last I saw it was 9 for 80. I think it ended up being more than that. That's a lot of penalties. Fumbled handoffs, poor snaps from Rusty Stats, which has been a common theme this year. But even on one of the drives that Texas Tech scored, on consecutive plays down the goal line, it was basically rolled back to Strong. Strong had to go down on the ground and get it to hand it off to Taj. If the snap would have been clean on the play prior to the touchdown, then I think Taj would have scored, but it kind of messed up. It did mess up the whole flow of that play, and Taj was stopped. They ended up punching it in despite another poor snap on the next play. But, these are basic things. We're talking about snaps and handoffs. It doesn't matter the level of experience from the quarterback or the fact that Stats came from Western Kentucky. Snapping the ball starts every play. It's pretty basic. Handing the ball off, pretty basic. Now I know some of that was in some read option game, but still, maybe once that happens, but to happen twice in the first half and. With Power 5 football players, Division I football players, it's very disappointing. So, a lot of frustrating plays from Texas Tech. Miles Price, who actually had a pretty good game as a returner, for the most part. On one of his long returns, he got hit, and it was a good play by a BYU player, but, he fumbled. So that contributed to the turnover woes. But, there's a couple of times this year you were 0-4 in terms of, -4 in the turnover battle against Oregon. Needless to say, you didn't win that game, even though you were close. And then at BYU, -5. I'm sure Joey McGuire's saying that in the postgame presser right now in Provo, but you're not going to win doing that. That's almost impossible to overcome a -5, turnover margin. But I'm trying to look for positives, but right now, to be honest, this is a bad football team with a bad record. Yeah, they've had injuries, they've had some adversity, but there's also some simple plays they're just not making. And these are the results. And so now Tech has a bye before hosting TCU. I believe it's November 2nd. It's a Thursday night game. So there's a lot to sort out. Baron Morton, maybe he can get healthy. He wasn't even dressed Saturday night, but hopefully for Tech and him, he can get healthy between now and then, because while Jake Strong's done some things, he had a couple of good drives. Too many turnovers, fumbles, interceptions. I think I don't remember exactly how many interceptions. I think it was 3 interceptions on the night. But, that's you can't do that. You can't throw 3 interceptions a game and expect to win. So there's a lot for Texas Tech to sort out. We'll have content, throughout the week, even though they're off. We'll be talking about it. But, one thing I'll say is I don't think Zach Kelly called a horrible game. I know some people out there are going to disagree, and they're already just done with him. But, Taj did get his 30-plus carries. He wasn't highly successful, but they stuck with that. Cameron Valdez did some good things as well. So there's that. But overall, disappointing performance. Red Raiders had an opportunity to pull even on the season overall, and at least would have been a long way towards them making a bowl this year. That looks very difficult at this point. So tough loss, 27-14 at BYU, and we'll have more content. I'll have, by the time this is posted, I should have already at least started or about to start the live chat, and we'll have the day after podcast. The Jaeger shots will be posted, and we'll go from there. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.